welcome to the Killtocraft Podcast. I'm Vanessa. This is episode 22 of my Polycraftual podcast, and today I have a show for you about knitting and a little bit of sewing. So welcome. You can find me on Instagram as Nessa Townley, and you can also find me on Ravelry as Killtocraft. You can also find our Ravelry Group, which is the Killtocraft Podcast. Hi mate. That's my cat. He seems to want to come up here now that I'm here. This could be an issue. He's going to get involved. Lincoln, come on, sit down now. I hope you don't mind that he's probably going to sit there, so I'm going to have like a furry side of my video. He likes to look out of the window because it's summer, and earlier as well he spotted a fly, and he's now just going to sit and stare up at the windows for the next God knows how long. I wanted to say thank you to all new viewers. Thank you for choosing my podcast and popping by and having a watch. I hope you come by and watch in future and stick with me. And thank you to any regular viewers for supporting me and the show. It's really nice to have you. So sorry. Lincoln, come on, think about it. So, I know that you guys have had to put up with my very sporadic podcast scheduling, which life gets in the way. Recently, I think it was yesterday, I was watching Jenny of the Lone Larch podcast, who also said that it's been a while since she podcasted, and that she didn't want to be burdened by the podcast and having to do a certain schedule. And I think that life does get in the way, and I'm just going to let it. I'll podcast when I can, and I think that's a nice way to do it, because sometimes you don't always have a lot to show, and it's nice to wait until you have plenty. So anyway, a lot of babbling. Let's get to it. So I'm podcasting this week because last week my partner was home, and we actually took the car out for a trip and visited a couple of yarn shops, and I figured I'd do it this week when he was actually at work, and it's come in handy because I've hurt my foot quite badly, and it means that I can chill out and podcast freely. So I'm back with my sparkly cup. Which is just filled with flavoured water for today. So I'm scared the cat's going to knock it off. I'm going to lean and put it over somewhere a bit more safe. So today, with FOs, I have a couple of projects to share with you. So yeah, let's get to it. I've finished my I Heart Bees pattern. And it's currently being test knitted. So this is the finished sock, the finalised example of my pattern, which I was rewriting. Can't really see it very well. There we go. Catching the light, because otherwise it sort of blows it out. But there you go. And it has a 1x1 rib cuff, or the optional twisted rib cuff, which I've used twisted rib because I love it. And then it goes into a honeycomb pattern, which you have to be careful when choosing your size. I've written a very well described note on the pattern that describes the kind of allowance that you're best using for the leg. So the sizing is actually taken from the leg of your foot. From the leg of the sock. So, and then you go into the foot pattern, and it doesn't quite as matter as much because you've got the stocking stitch, which gives a bit more stretch, you see, but because the cable pattern is all over in the leg, you need to match your size to your leg circumference. But anyway, it's really pretty, and it's got a eye of partridge heel, which I love, and this is the heel flap. So yeah, my pattern. And this is knitted with a homespun house Olsen base yarn in the In Bloom colourway. So if you're wanting to know what that looked like, it looks beautiful and gorgeous. And these are going to be sample socks, so I'm not really going to wear these. However, I'm really excited because I want to do a knit along when I get my pattern 100% complete. So when it's come back from test knitters, yes, I know Lincoln, exactly, he's very agreeable. So basically, I want to do a knit along in the group. If you are super interested, please let me know. Lincoln, no scratching today against the window. He wants to get to all of the flies. Sorry about that. The cat got in the way and I had to move him because he was getting very feisty, and he decided that all you wanted to see was his grumpy face. So I've shifted him and he can go and lay on the carpet where he usually stays. So this is the socks anyway. So I want to do a knit along in the Ravelry group when the pattern is released, and I'm hoping that some of you might want to join me because I already have yarn picked out for my pair. So I'll get mine out. I've had this yarn forever and it's been waiting for the perfect sock project, and I think the time is right. So this is yarn from Posh Yarns. The colour's not, there we go, that's better, golden colour. And it's got, I don't know if you can see, it's got like golden sparkle stellina in it. But I think this is going to be perfect because, hello, I heart bees, honey, bee, perfect colour. So these are going to be casted on for my socks. So I'm going to have sparkly bee socks. Perfect. And I'm getting very into the colour yellow. I got a yellow skirt on today and I'm loving it. And I'm knitting a yellow cowl as well. So yellow this summer. It's going crazy. So that's that. So that's my finished object for today. So my second finished object, which I've been keeping in my Third Vault Yarns project bag, Star Wars, obviously. This is unblocked, by the way. I don't have blocking wires yet, and I really want to block this properly. So this is the Easy Knits Pandemonium colourway in their Dusted Dreams sock yarn. Doesn't it come out awesome? I love this. And the pattern is gorgeous. So it's like an eyelet garter stitch pattern. You can't really see it because it's not really blocked, but here we go. I'll stretch it out a little bit. And it's got a picot edging, which is why I want blocking wires. I feel like this to block would be so much easier if I had a blocking wire across the top, across the bottom through the picots, and just pulled and pinned. I think I could spend all day forever pinning this out with just pins at work, and it can get a little bit tiring, and getting those picots to be even. I'm thinking blocking wires might be the best thing for this. Also, I started this in car knitting, which you might have seen on Instagram. We were at a car show, it was quite rainy, bit of a dismal day. Turned out quite nice eventually, but the morning was a bit grim. And I cast it on. However, I forgot to see that the pattern called for a 3.75mm, I think, for the beginning section, which is about this section. Darn! Because now, when I hold this up, it curls in. And I'm thinking that might be why, because now I've got this little flap of fabric that seems to want to dip in every 2 minutes that I can't stretch out because of the edging any further. It doesn't bother me 100% because I can tuck it in, But I know that when I've got the rest of the shawl blocked, this little bit might bother me. But this happens to me on other shawls as well. I don't know if this just is an occurrence issue for anybody else, or whether it's just me that seems to get this lovely little bulge in my shawl. It's not attractive. It's not fancy. And if I'd have read the instructions better before I set off with my projects that day, I wouldn't have a bulge in it. But I didn't want to be sat there bored, so I just started knitting anyway. And it doesn't bother me to 100%. It's just not great. I'm just going to have to tuck it in. So finished, but needs blocking. So kind of finished, kind of half finished. I don't know what people class as finished. If it's not blocked, is it finished? That's the question. So that's that. Keeping a lovely little pile of stuff lying around. My next project. I have to say, I actually tried podcasting last week and I made a whole mess of it because I had to podcast early because my partner was at home. And I was so tired that I just felt like it wasn't working, so I didn't post it. So you could have had a podcast last week, but I'm very judgmental and decided against it. I want you to have a good episode with me. So this is a Hayfield Aran pattern, which is number 9465. It's the leaflet number. If you have a look at my project page, I also have it linked there. And this is my dad's sweater, which is getting blown out a bit because of the light. But yeah, so this marker is possibly where you saw it last time. And then this marker is where I started last night. So I've done a full repeat of the pattern. But this week I have done all of this from here up, which is 3 whole repeats I've managed to do. I decided that the weather is getting really quite warm and I need cool weather to knit on this now. So any day where I check the weather on my iPhone that is below 15 degrees, then I'm going to take the opportunity to knit on Dad's sweater. And I've been doing that quite a bit this week. Plus, I kind of want to get this as much out of the way as possible because I feel like it's not burdening me at all. I'm really enjoying it. But I want to cast on other things, and I feel like if I cast on other things, I'm going to be working on other things rather than on this, which is kind of logic, isn't it, really? It's logical. So yeah, I'm kind of wanting to get at least the front done on this. Sorry, a bus is parked outside. This doesn't usually happen when I podcast. It seems rather loud. And it's going. Try and edit that out. So I'm really enjoying the pattern still, but I'd really like to make a move and at least get the front finished. And then even if it gets really warm, and summer does happen in England, which is taking its sweet ass time, I can feel like I've got a good majority of this done, and then I can start towards the autumn starting the sleeves, which won't bother me too much. But right now it's kind of bothering me because I don't want it to get really hot and have to put it away and not enough of it being knitted. So hence why I'm working on it like a crazy person this week. So I've been watching films. A good 2-hour stint of a film gets me about a repeat done, and now it's getting smaller because I'm decreasing for the armholes. I can get more done in less time. Yes. So that's that project. And then I've been knitting my striated short, there's a better way to say that, but I don't know if I'm saying it wrong. It's from Pom Pom Quarterly, spring issue. And I noticed that it was done in the Shetland Spindrift yarn, which I had 3 or 4 balls of in my stash, and decided this was perfect time to use it because I weren't going to be using it for anything else. It had been there a while. So this is it. And this becomes a cowl. So obviously it's really short at the minute. But yeah, it's quite pretty. So I'm really happy with this. It's coming along really well. And I'm not quite halfway yet. I think I've got another 10 centimetres to go. And then that's halfway. And I've been doing this on breaks at work. I've been taking it in my bag as well recently, just in case I have a spare bit of time to knit a few rows. Trying to get this kind of moved along a little bit, because I would like to have it finished. I'm just hoping it's not going to be too rough against my skin and make me itch. Kind of hoping that when I wash it and block it, it might soften the yarn a little bit. Sorry. All of the things is happening today. And I can't believe that I'm probably only 20 minutes into the podcast or something. This is mental. So the next thing I've been working on, a little bit, I've only been working on this week really. In between doing my dad's sweater, I didn't want to cast anything else on. So I've been working on my Cozy Memories blanket. Which is coming out fantastic. I absolutely love this. And I've done 2 more squares. So this is the In Bloom colourway, which I've used in my High Heart Bees socks. And this green colour is what I got gifted from Mina. And this is the Hawthorne Knit Picks colourway in the woodland colour. And then I've started putting in the Dusted Dreams sock yarn up here. So I started a fresh row on my blanket, and that is going super well. And I'm quite enjoying adding some extra squares in this as a simple project. But I would like to cast on my May socks for my box of socks knit along, because I'm starting to get a bit behind now. I think some self-striping vanilla socks is in order to catch up. So, as well, I got contacted this week by Lisa of the, where are my show notes? Lisa of the Sock Yarn Swappers group on Ravelry, and she mentioned to me that she's hosting a blanket blitz, Carl. Perfect. Which I know Shannon of Socksetra has also been doing. I can't say I've been blitzing per se. I've added 3 squares. I'm sure plenty of people have added way more than 3 squares. But I've still gotten involved. I've tried my best, and there is no limit to how many squares you have to put in your blanket. And it's same with Lisa's knit along that she's wanting to do in her group. There is no limit as per se. But you can go over and join. It's supposed to be a chilled out summer long knit along. She's even got a hashtag, which is Summer of Squares 2016, to share your blanket blitzing on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. And she's also got some lovely prizes. Also, if you're interested in Lisa's Ravelry Group, she also does a thing called Swapless Swaps. So if you're quite new to blanket making, or if you really want some minis from a really cool indie dyer that she's creating minis from for different varieties of swaps, because I know she's done some in the past where she's picked an indie dyer and she's made packages up. All you have to do is join on to her group, and you pay a small fee. You pay a fee, and she'll get in some skeins from certain dyers, and then she'll create mini skeins and she'll ship them out to you, which is a great way to build up your blanket with something different. So go over to her Ravelry group and check it out, because it might be of interest to you. And I was meant to mention this quite a while ago, but I haven't been working on my blanket because it gets the odd occasional interest. It depends what I'm doing at the time. So if I'm working on projects that I really love but really need to get done, this seems to be put aside. But the less projects I have, the more this gets knit on. So it gets there. It gets its sweet knitting time eventually. So that's that. And then I seem to have a lot going on this week. I suppose it has been 4 weeks. But I'm then starting the Tannery Falls pattern, which is in the latest pom-pom. This is the summer issue, and it is gorgeous. It has so many patterns in it, and I want to knit and crochet pretty much all of them. So I am making this. How gorgeous is this? It's a little bit out of my style, but I think with jeans, beach jeans, trainers, chilled out summer day, little satchel bag, look quite cute. I think so. And it doesn't look too warm either, which is nice. So I'm making this, and I got the perfect yarn last year when I was in Berlin. I wanted to spend up my currency before I came home, and grabbed a load of Ito yarns, which is Japanese. I bought 3 different varieties and 5 different colours. The other 4 cones are for another lace project, which is an old pom-pom pattern. But then I had 3, 1 of this and 2 of this, just sat there with no real project goal at all in mind. So this is Men, and this is 100% cotton, 50 grams, 300 meters in the natural colourway, and they only seem to do it in a natural colourway, and I have 2 of these. I don't know if you can see, it looks like a really soft, cushy cotton. It's so nice. And then this is 100% silk, which is 50 grams, and this is 425 meters, and this is a chili pepper colourway. How nice is this? And I haven't done much. This is a crochet project. I am pretty slow at crocheting because I'm not used to doing it, and I get a bit nervous about counting the stitches and making a massive boo-boo. I have only got said far. So this is the wrong side, right side. Anyway, this is how much I've done so far. So it's pretty tiny. I made a mistake yesterday, and I crocheted up to the end of this section and had to pull back to the pink because my stitches on this side and this side were uneven. I think I had 12 stitches at this side and 10 at this side, and I was like, this is starting to look like wonky. And I did what the pattern said to this marker, and it was not fitting. And I was like, instantly, there is something wrong. And I couldn't figure out which row, because it's back and forth crocheting, turning your work back and forth. It got confusing. I couldn't understand where I'd made the error. But I could see, when counting, that I had an even amount on the red section. It was even, and it was correct when I pulled it back. It was the correct stitch count. So I started it again from there, and I've made extensive notes about how many stitches each row should be at this side and this side, because you're adding 1 at this point at each side of the marker, so I can check that the sides are even and the rest will just happen in the middle. So I'm getting there, slowly but surely. I just feel like I'm very conscious of making mistakes with this, but I'm sure that once it gets on its way, I'll be fine, and it's just practice really, isn't it? And it's not something I pick up is crochet, but sometimes there is the occasional project and I'm like, I want to make that, so I'm a bit of a rookie, but I give it a go. No harm in trying. And I'm keeping this in my knit bits and stitch and bits. That's it. Knit and stitch bits. I'll get there eventually today. Look. Yeah. And this is gorgeous. I love this bag. and it's cushy. It's got like a bit of a quilted padded feel to it, but I absolutely love the arrows. And I spotted this on her Instagram, so you can follow her over there. And she kindly also sent me a really large bag to give away at some point to you guys. So, future giveaway. But if you want to check her out, she's on Etsy and she sells some amazing bags. I'm not sure if she's got any in stock at the minute, but her bags are beautiful. So other things, I've been sewing. I'm quite excited about this because I'm a nervous sewer. I've only done two sewing projects. My first one I had sewn from a pattern, a vintage 80s t-shirt pattern, and the second one, from taking the knowledge that I had from the first pattern, I was trying to use up a piece of vintage fabric that was amazing and trying to use it as best as I could to make a top. And I made a top for my friend and it fit her perfectly, and I even made my own little pattern and made a collar, and it fit spot on. But that was 2 years ago and I haven't sewn since, so I'm a bit nervous. I was a bit nervous on whether I'd make a bit of a mess of this, but I decided to join in with Kristen of Full and Fine Yarns. She does the Yarngasm podcast, and she's also doing a sew along for the summer, where you have until I think it's the 20th of June to make 2 garments. And I've started my first, which is this simple sew pattern, the ruby dress. And this is something that I got free out of a magazine a while ago and really wanted to make. I think it's gorgeous. I had a bit of Michael Miller fabric spare, and I'd also bought a shed load of black cotton and decided that I'd really like the two together for the pattern. So I've made the bodice in the Michael Miller fabric and the skirt in the black cotton. And I'm intending on adding pockets to this. Everybody had full confidence in me being able to make this. I made a boo-boo. When I was first cutting the fabric for my skirt, I thought I'd cut my fabric on the wrong grain line. When your fabric comes, it comes folded in half in a length. That's your straight grain line. Your width grain line is the width of the fabric. I thought that I'd cut it wrongly and turned the fabric the opposite way and cut from it, which made my skirt pieces widthways. I had, however, cut my first piece on straight grain line and thought I'd done it wrong and saved it aside. So I have one piece, but I now have to get some more black cotton to make the 2 back pieces and recut those because they are on the wrong grain line. And I noticed when zigzag sewing the hem of the skirt to keep it neat so that it didn't fray back, the fabric started to buckle. So it started to stretch the fabric and it made these buckled bumps which wouldn't press out either. You could just tell from looking at them. And instantly I knew that those were on the wrong grain line, and I was like, no, I need more fabric. But I did get the old piece of skirt fabric out of the bedroom and I sewed that on instead. So this is the fabric. In fact, I'll just take it off here. This is the Michael Miller fabric, which is the pink polka dot. And I've got my bust darts placed in the fabric and at the side as well, wherever they are, here. And they fit really well. And then I've done the interfacing on the back and fronts. Can see my darts there. And nobody can see this, but I kind of made a mess because I realised that I was still using the zigzag line, and I went off a little bit. So I kind of redid the line and did it above that just to tuck it in again so that you wouldn't notice, and I don't think I've done too bad. The only thing about the pattern is it didn't mention the fact that I'd have to ease this skirt in slightly, because this was actually wider than the bodice bottom, and I've just made a couple of little tucks in the fabric. But all in all, I think it'll fit lovely. And I can't wait. And I'm going to add pockets in the side here, but not too high up because I don't want them to be on my hippies. I don't want to make myself look too massive, so I think a bit lower down, maybe about here. I'm going to add some pockets because I like pockets in a dress. But that's coming on really well, and and now I've got about another 4 dresses I want to make. I have no fabric for these dresses, but I have got another 4 or something that I've seen that I really want to create. One of them I bought this pattern for on eBay because it was unused and it was super cheap, and it's one of Gertie's dress patterns, and I love this sexy number right here. I've been recently interested in my body shape and been taking measurements for my sewing, and I've realised I've gone from an hourglass figure into a pear shape, which says is really good. It's a good thing to wear pencil skirts if you're a pear shape. It really shows your figure better. And a pencil dress, I know used to look amazing on me because I had one quite a few years back, and so this I think is going to be spot on, and I love it. So I'm going to create that one at some point, so I'm keeping an eye out for fabric. So that's sewing, and I've got my old, I like to cut out my pattern pieces onto some scrap parcel paper, and I trace them onto it and then cut it out, because I can keep these for future and just repin these to fabric, which I like to do. So, and I save them into folders for future use. The next thing I want to chat about is future whips, which I haven't casted on yet because I daren't, because I've got so much going on with Dad's sweater, with my blanket, and now I started some crocheting. But I really want to start these Cookie A socks, which are called the Jedi Mind Trick socks. How awesome are they? And I want to make them out of this yarn. I think would be perfect, and I'm going to call these my dark side socks, because look at it. How gorgeous is this? This makes me think of Kristen, because I think she'd love this. Kristen, if you're watching, I think this is like a colourway for you. And this is also from Easy Knits, and I think these two are going to look incredible together. So at some point, pretty soon, because I want to join in the knit along with my friend Lara of the Fawn Knits and my friend Candice of the Princesses and Pearls podcast. They are both doing a knit along together, and these I really want to start so I can join in. And it's the end of May, and I think I've got to the end of June, so I need to start knitting those soon. So a lot of you know that I've been having dental visits recently. So this month has been really bombarded with dental visits and birthdays. It's just been mental for birthdays. I think we've had about 5 over this past month that I've been getting ready for. But I had a really small amount of money this month that I could spend on myself. When I say small, I mean like a tiny amount. Not what I'm used to. I don't have a large amount anyway, but it was narrowed down by a good maybe £70 or something. Anyway, my yarn budget went completely out of the window. But I figured because I'd spent my money and been to the dentist twice in 1 week, when we decided to go and visit 2 yarn shops, I at least thought I deserved one treat. So I paid for the dentist out of my own money, and I do have a little bit of a dentist fund. So I took a little bit of a little bit of pennies out of there to put back next month, because I figured that's fine. I can just put it back in later. And I trekked myself to a skein from a store called Unravel, which is in Denby Dale, Yorkshire. And this is the only yarn shop that I know of, except for Bar Mew in Leeds, that is relatively close by, that do nice yarns that are a little bit funky, a little bit different, and have yarn that I want to buy for projects all the time. So I do buy commercial yarns, but sometimes you want something that inspires you to knit more funky patterns, and I like that. I like colour, and I like the variety and the tonalness of hand-dyed yarn, which is why I treat myself to the odd little bit here and there. So we went to 2 yarn shops. Unravel was one, and we went to Spun in Huddersfield. Spun also had a new selection, which were hand-dyed yarns from a relatively local dyer that is new to me, and I realised that they not only had a solid selection of colourways, they also had a speckled variety. I am going back to treat myself. But I decided, because I saw this, I decided that this was just the thing that I wanted the most, and decided to leave the other shop till another time and get this. So this is Malabrigo sock, and this is their Solace colourway, but it just reminds me of mermaids. How gorgeous is this? This is 440 yards. I just had like a kind of a premonition. I could do my my Vildesmere in this. Why did I not think of that? Oh my god. I just thought this was going to sit in my stash and then become some really nice cabled socks. But oh my god. Oh yes. I can totally see this happening. You guys, I shopped really well without even knowing it. But I think I'll be going back to Unravel quite soon and treating myself to something else. But it'll be further down in the year, because I'm trying to save for Yarndale, which has become ever increasingly impossible when I also need to buy new footwear, because I'm having trouble with the footwear I've got with my bad foot. So we're gonna see how spending goes, because we've got the rest of summer. But hello. So I treated myself for being good and going to the dentist, which turned out really well. I know that Kristen, hi Kristen, of the Yarngasm podcast, has also been going to the dentist. Well done. Go, don't worry. Like, I know she's mentioned that she's got a few cavities and she stopped drinking Diet Coke, so go you. I love Coke, and I struggle too. I try to not have any, but I think I try and let myself have one a week. Just one can, not a whole bottle, can. And that's my treat with a dinner, because I really like the chilled can, and it's just so refreshing. But anyway, you're doing really well, and stay strong, because I drink flavoured water a lot of the time, the low sugar stuff, because I don't like the syrupy flavour. So it is nice to have a treat, but I totally understand why you're doing it. Thankfully, I've been, and I only have one cavity, which is in my wisdom tooth, but it's not so far gone yet that I need anything doing with it. They have mentioned to me that when it gets to that point and it's starting to hurt me, I'll need to have it taken out, because they won't fill it, because it's the same cost. It's an NHS dentist. It's the same cost to have it done, and with it being at the back, they said that if the filling dropped out, I'd have to pay to have it done again, and it costs more money. I might as well just have it out, because it'll be useless, that tooth. But good thing is, I've got my gum health back. Yay! Not fully, but it's getting there. And the actual wisdom tooth that was wobbly is no longer wobbly. So I'm super chuffed with myself, and I'm so glad I went. I went this week for a dental visit and a hygienist visit, and she cleaned up my teeth again, got some of the excess off that was left behind from my last visit. And it's so not nice, but because I knew the benefits of what it gave me when I last went, I knew that I probably wouldn't need to have them scraped and cleaned every time I go if I just go through it. So I am staying strong, and the yarn is encouraging me. But my mouth is feeling so much better, and I urge any of you that go, I don't think there's enough awareness of issues with gum disease, and if you are spitting a tiny amount of blood, only a little bit, like maybe you've caught your gum funny, that's fine. But if you are, every time you're brushing, you are profusely having gums that bleed, please go to the dentist. It is scary, I am not gonna lie. I am 29 and I hadn't been since I was 15. I was shaking with nerves. I was so daunted by going. But now I have been. This time that I went, I wasn't really scared at all. I was a little bit nervous. I think that's natural because you know that going isn't pleasant. But they have helped me so much, and you will never get rid of gum disease, but you can maintain it and make sure that it's prevented, stays away. So please go. So yeah, I'll stop nagging about that now. But anyway, if you've been to the dentist lately, good for you. I'm a full supporter of the dentist. So then later on in the week, I had a lovely package from a knitter friend. I'm hoping she doesn't mind me sharing the treats that she sent me. She sent me a little package with some nitpicks. I'd showed that I loved the yarn that she'd chosen and stashed away on Ravelry. I mentioned that obviously it's really hard to get over here. I think there's one online shop that sell it, and they must get it imported, but they only have the basic ranges, which is nice, but I love some of the funkier stuff, and you just can't seem to get it over here. But she kindly offered to send me a skein, which was so lovely, so thank you. I could give you a big cuddle. So this is Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering, which is the graffiti speckle. I'm sure a lot of you in America have probably seen these yarns, but if you're in the UK, you've probably not seen this yarn at all. So this is Knit Picks' version of a speckled yarn, and it looks gorgeous. I love the little hints in it, and it feels really nice, and it's a high twist yarn, but it feels really soft, but it feels sturdy as well. I think that these are going to make some sturdy socks. A little bit like Wool Barn, the tweedy socks that I did. I think this yarn is going to hold up almost similar to that. I think it's good. And it's nice quality yarn. It's at 80% superwash fine Highland wool, which you can tell it's quite woolly. It's got some squish to it. And it's 20% polyamide. And this is 357 yards for 100 grams skein, fingering weight. And it is lush. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to knit with these yet. Maybe some everyday, mine is everyday socks. Maybe, I think it needs to be a simple sock, I think. But I really love it. It's gorgeous. So thank you so much. And then she also spoiled me a little bit, which I really wasn't expecting. I was just expecting that she was sending me this little lush treat, which would have been so enough, because I'm super excited to use it. But then I saw that she'd also popped into the package so kindly as well. She knew that I couldn't get hold of this sort of thing, and then decided that if she can't get hold of it, I'd like to gift her a couple of skeins of this. So she sent me some Felici, which, oh my god, because this stuff is beautiful. And I did get a little mini skein in a package of Felici, and it feels so super soft. But oh. After my last pair of self-striping socks, I'm super excited to make another pair, and this is so totally cute. Look at the colours. They're a little bit autumnal, I think, but they're beautiful. And I'm not sure which colourway this is, but I wasn't expecting this at all. Oh, and I can't wait to make socks out of it, because I'm astounded that she sent me some. So thank you so much. I am I'm actually kind of speechless, because this is like such a sweet little package, and so kind and thoughtful of you as well. Really appreciate it. I have said to my knitting friend on Ravelry that if she ever would like anything from the UK that maybe is hard to get over in America, do let me know, because I would happily send her a little parcel similar. Do a little trade-off, because there's nothing better than receiving a small package of yarn to create something beautiful. And it's reciprocating the favour. She also sent me, which I lied to her, I have had David's tea, but only once, and only one flavour. And it was nice, but it wasn't the flavour for me. But she sent me some David's tea, and we don't get this in the UK. This stuff smells, well, the previous one that I had smelled delicious, but it just wasn't my kind of flavour. But this, one of these is strawberry rhubarb parfait. That sounds like a dessert tea, which I know I will love. So awesome. I love teas that taste like you're having a sweet treat, because I'm a sweet tooth, massive sweet tooth. So this is like a fruit infusion, so I can't wait to have that. And this is Daydreamer, which is green tea, Sancha green tea, but it's got mango flavouring in it, safflower and marigold. Mango, love mango flavouring. I can't wait to try these. So thank you so much, because recently I've been a little bit, what's the word? I've not been drinking as much tea. I've reverted. I've gone back to drinking my Yorkshire Gold tea quite a bit recently. So on a night, I've been just mellowing out with my Yorkshire Gold. But I do love my herbal teas. I feel like the ones that I have drunk in the past, I've got a little bit fed up of, and can't seem to find anything new to pick me up. I still love Lady Grey tea though, that gorgeous. So I'm enjoying the idea of checking these out, and the blackjack tea as well that I got, that is beautiful. So I just need to find some new tea, I think, whereas supermarket tea just isn't quite cutting it for me, or I just haven't found a new one yet that's just, tantalising the taste buds. So I can't wait to try these. So I'm saving these for a special evening. And since it's bank holiday weekend, that special evening might be this weekend. So we don't really have any plans over the bank holiday weekend. We're just pretty much relaxing and kicking back, because I can't walk any further than a half an hour walk without my foot hurting. I have got some cushioning in my shoes, and I'm trying my best to rest it up. I've been taking tons of ibuprofen, and I'm hoping that the swelling is going to go down. I went to the doctors yesterday thinking that they were going to think I was a hypochondriac, and that they'd probably just tell me to buck up, and that I was explaining some silly symptoms, and apparently I wasn't. It is called a thing, plantar fasciitis or something along those lines, and basically the ligament between the heel and the front of the foot, in the arc of your foot, I have damaged it. It is swollen. The only thing that I can remember doing differently is that I've got some really flat shoes that I really love wearing, and I've put a memory foam insole into them. And I've gone from wearing that shoe to wearing no shoes, and then on hard flat floor. And then the next day I woke up and trod on this foot and was in mega pain. And I have been for the past 4 days. And because I walk to and from work, that half an hour walk is enough to make it a little bit sore. So for the past 2 days, I've been getting the bus to work and then just walking home because I could put my feet up and rest them for a while. But it is getting on my wick, and I need it to heal up quite quickly because I walk a lot. But I've noticed that a lot of my shoes are very flat, but I've always wore flat shoes. So giving myself the comfort in one pair of my shoes as possibly the camel. I've broken the camel's back basically, myself by accident, and now I have to cushion all the rest of my shoes for walking in because I'm just going to be a cripple otherwise. I this afternoon saw a lady wearing 2 odd shoes. One of them was a slipper, and she was walking with a walking stick. And I said to my friend Claire, really sadly, that if this doesn't heal, that could be me. And she laughed at me. But I feel like that because I've not been able to walk very far for a good week now. So I'm hoping the swelling will go down, and I've been putting ice packs on last night, so if I do the same today, hopefully over a few days, because I've got a 3-day weekend, hopefully my foot will start to heal. And my mum's brought me some lightweight trainers with good shaped soles on the insides, which I'm hoping will, if I wear them next week, they will keep my foot in a good shaped position, and hopefully I'll be able to walk again pretty soon without any trouble. Cross fingers for me, because I've been told that if after 2 weeks it's not any better, I need to go back because I might need physio. I've also been told by my mum she's had it for a year and it's not gotten really any better, and the doctors seem to be saying that she needs to see the hospital about some other treatment, and I don't want it to get that far, so cross fingers. But now I know I need to look after my feet more. It's one of these life curves, isn't it? You get to an adult and you start to realise that 1, I need to go to the dentist more. 2, I need to look after the arc of my foot. 3, I need to always carry knitting in the car. I've been learning a lot of lessons this year. So yeah, you probably don't realise the story about me and my car knitting. It's a rather embarrassing story. A couple of weeks ago I went on a trip with my partner and some friends to take some photographs of our classic cars, and we got locked in by an electric fence into a business car park as we were turning round because we'd gone down a wrong street. We were locked in this car park for 2 hours as we waited for the owner of said car park to come and let us free. We had to pay this man to come and let us free because he lived a few hours away and he was already there. Very frustrating. Basically, he said that there was a time on the building and it shut 10 minutes, the gate shut 10 minutes after the business closed. No, the business closed at 5:30 in the evening. We checked. This gate shut on us at about 7:30 in the evening. No, maybe even 8:30. It might have been really late. Oh no, 7:30, because we didn't get out till 9:30. Yeah, I remember now. That is a little longer than 10 minutes after a business closes. And it didn't say anything about electric fences on the outside of the fence. And I had no knitting. My phone was slowly dying and we didn't know if we needed anybody's phones. So I was trying my best not to use it. So I didn't have Instagram or anything. And we just sat there and waited. for 2 whole hours, the 4 of us. We were not happy, but now I've learned my lesson, and I will not enter that car, even if we were just originally visiting my family and going back home, and instead we decided to do this. So never will I leave the house to go anywhere without knitting now. Even if it is the simplest of knitting, I will always take my project bag no matter where I go. So lesson be learnt, people. Always take a sock with you. Always. Or a little scarf. Anything. Just please take your car knitting. It's a warning. So anyway, that's it for me this week, and I hope you've really enjoyed catching up with me. I've really enjoyed catching up with you and sharing what I'm doing and trying to get done, and it's been really nice to share with you. And I hope you all have a great holiday weekend, if you have a holiday over there. I hope my test knitters are all enjoying their socks, and I hope soon enough you will be joining in with a knit along with me. If you want to catch up with any show notes or want to chatter with me, then please come and join the Ravelry Group. I'd be ecstatic to see you. And also a little notice, if I don't always reply to you straight away, it does not mean that I haven't seen your posts. I know that on my Ravelry group, we have a fancy introduction thread, and I do read all of those. If I've liked as well, loved your post, then you'll know that I've seen it. It's just I have such a busy life with me working full time and things like that. Don't always have time to do it, but when I do, I message quite a few people at once, and it makes it just quicker and easier. But please do still share. I read those and I love getting to know you all. And please do chatter in the threads. And if you have any questions, there is also a questions thread, which is also a news thread, which last week I lied in because I said you'd have a podcast, and then I decided to not show that because I looked like a mess and I was not coherently podcasting at all. Would not do that to myself again. So anyway, have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.